Vidya Sampradaya Kartabhyo Vanshashibhyo Paramarshibhyo Mahadbhyo Manibhyo Gurubhyaha. You have to say this prarthana in the beginning and the end. And if you have not yet, got by heart, say at least Om Namaha Panini Kachyayana Patanjali Bhyaha. Is it okay?
Okay.
So now, so you actually want to study Vyakarana Shastram. What is this Vyakaranam? Vyakaranam is an instrument which roughly discusses the use and abuse of language. In other words, there are both kinds of shabdas, sadhu shabdaha, asadhu shabdaha. For example, bhayadaha is a sadhu shabda. What do you mean by sadhu shabda or shabda for that matter? Shabda itself means sadhu shabda. A shabda that is acceptable to Vyakaranam, okay, is called sadhu shabda. Okay, and unlike in other languages across the globe, here in Sanskrit there is something separate, something significant. What is it? You know, there are 4 purusharthas. Okay, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Through dharma is connected with artha, kama, and moksha. And this dharma has to be achieved by different means. What is dharma? Whatever is said in Vedas, etc., etc. That we may discuss at a later date. Then, in Indian subcontinent, rishis have decided that by the use of language, that is perfect shabdas or shabdas that are acceptable to Vyakarana, one should attain dharma. So that means this is Sanskritam or Daivi Bhasha, actually it used to be called. Later in Ramayana, etc., you find this word Sanskritam. Sanskritam means which has got samskara. Samskara is again untranslatable. You add some buttermilk to milk, that is boiled milk, okay? Then it will turn into curd. That is also a samskara. Vivaha is a samskara. Upanayana is a Shodasha samskaras we have. So, the language which has got Vyakarana samskara is called Sanskritam. Other languages also may have something like called grammar. But there is no this kind of norm or niyama that one can attain dharma through the use of perfect shabdas. This is not elsewhere. So you are going to learn this thing. The actual niyama is that a person with the knowledge of Vyakarana, if he employs some shabdas, then he will get dharma. That means Vyakarana Shastra Jnana Purvake Shabda Prayoge Dharma. Is it clear? So, there are Vedas. Veda was only one, Veda Vyasa.
There was I read it in the Paniniya Siksha. There is a Prakrit language also. How is there any relation between Prakrit and Sanskrit?
Yes. What happens is, some people started saying Samskrita means Samskara. So Prakrita Bhasha was there earlier. Then Vyakarana Samskara. Then Panini made these Shabdas and then Samskrita has come. This is bad simply.
Okay.
The Bhasha is already there in Veda. We are going to learn Vaidika Laukika Shabdas immediately in the first or second lecture itself about that is discussed in Mahabhashyam. So Prakrita Bhashas are Prakriti means Sanskritam. Those languages, Ardhamagadhi, Magadhi, Paishachi, etc., etc., all those are called Prakrita Bhashas because they have come from, they emerged out of Prakriti, that is Sanskrita Bhasha. So, by employing Prakrita Bhasha or the, what you call regional languages, Prantiya Bhashas, like Telugu, Tamil, Hindi, Malayalam, etc., no, we cannot achieve dharma. So that is exclusively for, that's why during these 16 samskaras also, one is supposed to use Sanskritam only. One cannot say with Telugu mantras and Tamil mantras or Malayalam mantras or Hindi mantras I want to perform. No. That is not actually possible because mantras themselves are there in Sanskritam. So, since time immemorial, the Indian intelligentsia or the sages have been protecting the language. Okay, why to protect the language? There is one general rule. What is it? Language changes due to the influence of other languages or due to the, capacity that is lowered capacity that is going down. The capacity goes down with age, for example. And when those people are not trained well by any guru, then also they cannot pronounce perfectly. Brahma, one may say, unless and until someone who studied with Shiksha comes and says, no, it should be Rasyam, Brahma, Pralhada, like that, he doesn't know how to pronounce clearly. This has been happening. How to prepare a Vyakarana, how to compile a Vyakarana, that we are going to discuss in this Paspashantikam. Now, to understand the Vedic text, Veda itself, there are 6 Vedangas. Veda Anga. Veda, if taken as a Purusha, if you consider Veda personified, then Shiksha will be nose, Vyakarana will be mouth, the 2 hands will be Kalpa. Like that in Shiksha you will learn. So, these 6 Shastras, Shiksha, Vyakaranam, Chandas, Niruktam, Jyotisham, and Kalpa. These 6 are taken as the limbs of Veda Purusha. That means they represent different limbs of Veda Purusha. That's why they are called by the name Veda Anga. Anga means limb. Is it clear? So, now what happens if one wants to understand the Veda, then he should learn 6 Vedangas, plus there is Purvamimamsa and also Uttaramimamsa, Darshanas are there, and Nyaya Vaisheshika and Yoga Sankhya. All these Darshanas and Vedangas have got their roots in Veda. Veda, we are going to learn, Patanjali gives the count. There are 1130 branches of Veda originally. Presently available only 13 branches. So if anybody claims that is not there in Vedas, no. Tell him, ask him whether he has got Yogi Pratyaksham. Because if one does possess Yogi Pratyaksham, just like Panini or Patanjali, then it is possible. We will believe. This Yogi Pratyaksham is detailed in Yoganashasana as well as Vakyapadiyam. Tell me, Sharma.
Recently, during I sent you one article in the review for the one article to review, right, on Veda.
I did not see the article.
So in the no problem. In that research, I met with one person, which is he was saying that there is a live person which is Yogic Pratyaksham who is still seeing the Ved mantras. So how true it can be?
Still, some people are there who can just listen to Vedic mantras.
Yes, he is claiming that, and he is saying that he has that person has lots of followers also. I don't remember the exact name. I guess Akhandananda, some guru was there.
It is, it is difficult to believe nowadays. If anybody says he has got Yogi Pratyaksham, then you just ask him to do a matching work to Panini. As simple as that. And that we are going to come.
Okay.
So these 6 Vedangas are there. Purvamimamsa, Purva, the word refers to Purva Bhaga of Veda, earlier parts of Veda, which deal with karma, yagas, etc. Uttaramimamsa or Vedanta deals with Uttara Bhaga, that is Upanishads of Veda, called Vedanta Upanishads. That's why Purvamimamsa, Uttaramimamsa. I will give a brief account of all these things, but before that, you see, there are 3 kinds of doshas, defects. Manasika dosha, Sharirika dosha, and Vak dosha. So Patanjali, okay, this has come, I mean, it is inherited by us from earlier great people. Patanjali authored 3 works to see that all the 3 kinds of defects people are suffering from are corrected actually. They won't, they will get rid of these defects, people. What he did for Manasika dosha, he authored Yoganushasana. Okay. Patanjali authored Yoganushasana in order to see that the people get rid of the defects related to Manas. Manas is more important than Shariram, so first we are discussing Manas. Although someone takes some medicine or something like that, if the mind if he doesn't have peace of mind, Manas Shanti, Chitta Shanti, no, that medicine does not work. Very recently, just for the last 25 to 30 years, this modern medicine, English medicine, has been saying this thing. First, you should not have any, tension, etc., in the mind. Then only this will be possible. Otherwise, although I give you medicine, injection, etc., if you do not have peace of mind, if you have tension, if you have some sort of a problem, then no, this medicine doesn't work. Recently, these people are saying. Very recently. That means earlier they were talking only about Shariram, not Manas. Isn't it? Anyway, so second one is Sharirika dosha, defects of the body. Due to Desha, you may live in a cold country, you may live in a tropical country, there may be some problem of health. Kala, during winter, there will be less digestive power. During summer, there will be more digestive power. Okay, Desha, Kala, and Patra. Patra is dish. What are you eating? This is very important. You cannot just go on eating something or the other. No. Is it suitable? Pathyesati gadartasya kimaushadha nishevanam. One book, Logamrajiyam, says, gadartasya, gada means disease. A person is suffering from some disease.
I'm sorry in this part, but as we have discussed last time that we may be putting this thing in your YouTube, I would be, can I get a number and book of the slok number, something if you can just say it, that would be okay for me also, probably if I want to add it somewhere in that YouTube video that this is the sloka which you are talking about. You don't need to write it, I will write it, but you just need to mention the slok number so that it is easy for me to find it out. So,
yes,
so sorry for this again.
Number of sloka I will give you tomorrow, that is Vakyapadiyam Brahmakanda only.
Oh, okay. So no
the number I will give you,
okay,
and also clear reference in the next class I will give you.
Okay.
So, in order to see that the people will get rid of the Sharirika dosha, so Patra means, that we are discussing Logamrajiyam, a work. Pathyesati, one follows Pathya. Pathya means, what does it mean? Not restriction simply, but something that is suitable to his body. Okay. In Shiksha classes, we will discuss this Vata, Pitta, Kapha, Ayurveda, then it will become clearer. Some people have got the nature of Vata. Vata is gas actually. Pitta, Paicham, bilious nature. Some people have got that. Suppose if somebody has got bilious nature, he should not eat anything made of oil early in the morning, or better to reduce oil, etc. And also this Vartakam or brinjal or coconut, etc., like that. Okay. Some people have Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Kapha is a plum, /ma. Those people should reduce things which are sweet in nature. One should not stop altogether. So I do not eat salt, I take less salt. I do not eat sweet, I take less sweet. No. This is absolutely meaningless. Because Sushruta Samhita says, till the end of your life, all the 6 tastes you should consume. Otherwise, what will happen? There is one thing called Ojahakshaya. Recently, people call it AIDS, acquired Indian tuber. So, Ojahakshaya, if one gets, Ojas is the cause of balam, strength. Ojo balam. This is in Veda, Krishna Yajur Veda. So ojas is the cause of strength, balam. So if you reduce or if you, I mean, you may reduce depending on the health position. Okay, but without, I mean, totally avoiding either salt or sweet or something like that, anything they like, no, that would lead to this problem. That is Ojahakshaya. If one becomes a subject of is suffering from Ojahakshaya, what will happen? Then somebody is just having a cold, common cold in Himalayas, and this person also gets it. Although you are at a faraway place, it is likely that people, I mean, you will just get the diseases easily. That means there will be less and less resistance in the body. Therefore, one should not give up any taste of 6 tastes are there, you know. That is one. So, Pachesati Gadartasya, when he follows the suitable food, etc., and also Hitam Bhunjat, Metam Bhunjat, Nabhunjat, Amitam Hitam, Ayurveda. Whatever is suitable to your body, you eat it. Metam Bhunjat, take the food, whatever it may be, in a limited quantity. Metam Bhunjat, Nabhunjat, Amitam Hitam. Although you like it, although it is suitable to your body, you should not take too much of it. What is the general Sotram? Ati Sarvatra Varjayet. Ati, reading too much, working on computer too much, eating too much, walking too much, everything. Ati Sarvatra Varjayet is the general rule. If anybody asks you, tells you to come and do this and that thing, walking too much, some people go on walk 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers. Hey, why are you walking so much? No, be in your limits. That's so. Pachesati Gadartasya Kimaushati Nishevanam. Why to take medicines when you follow the proper food? The other sentence is just like that with Sandhi. Pachesati, Pache Asati, Pache after Pache, there is one called Avagraha, like this kind of mark. Pache Asati, when one does not follow the proper food, etc. Gadartasya, he got some disease. Kimaushati Nishevanam. Why to take medicine? So if you follow the Pachyam, then also it is a waste. Medicine is not required. If you do not follow Pachyam, then also medicine is not required. How beautifully they say. In Sanskrit Vyakaranam, you have Kaumudi yadi kanthastha pratha bhashye parishrama. If you have studied Kaumudi well, then it is not needed. Mahabhashyam need not be studied. Kaumudi yadi akanthastha. If Kaumudi is not there on the tip of your tongue, pratha bhashye parishrama, then it is a waste of time to study Mahabhashya. This is the chamatkara. How to speak, we have to learn. Okay, so now that is about Sharirika doshas. The third one is Vak doshas. Actually, what is this Vak dosha? Because it is only in Indian culture, not in other cultures. Why is it not there? We don't know. Here there has been a Vedic Sampradaya, it is very, very systematic. Just to compare with other languages. Take English, well-known language. When I gave a lecture on Sanskritam in Osmania University, Hyderabad, some 15 years ago, at the end I asked any questions, doubts, clarifications are welcome. Then someone said, sir, please say something about English also. Okay, you mean Englishes? So professors of English were also there. When I said Englishes, people got a doubt. What is this for Sanskritam? He is saying Sanskritam. But here he says there are Englishes. What does it mean? There is only one English as far as we know. Then I said, no worry, I shall explain. Suppose the president arrives Sunday, American English. The president arrives on Sunday, British English. Okay. Spelling also, he says that he is going, British English. He says he is going, American English. C-O-L-O-R color, American. C-O-L-O-U-R color, British. And we have our own Indian English. I am feeling happy. Actually, that is not a ready-made usage. If you ask Telugu people, everyone, especially ladies, and without any prejudice, I am feeling happy. Actually, you are supposed to speak, I feel happy will do. Why are you saying feeling happy? What do you mean by feeling happy? But that became just what you call current. That is in currency. You understand currency. People are using. If you now tell them, no, you have to wash your feet and hands. Hands only they say. Why? In Western countries they won't, they cannot maybe because of the Shetala. The cold countries, no, they may not wash their feet. So they say, wash your hands with sanitizer. What about feet? Nobody questions. You go across the globe. And what about Gandusha? Gargling. Take some water and do Gandusha. Because whatever bacteria, whatever outside the blemishes have entered your through nose or mouth and are there in the throat, you have to, isn't it? So first of all, what is required? Cleanliness. So first that is Chitta Shuddhi, cleansing the mind, then cleansing the body, then this language. So in other languages, what they say, I am going. In English movies, if you watch, they say, I am going. Where are you going? What they meant is, okay, are you okay? This is actually at them. We call them Mlechas. We are Aryas. Aryas and Mlechas, I shall explain, taking the material for Mahabhashyam only. So, extended Aryavarta, that means down to Kanyakumari, from Karakoram. Who are Aryas, what is their specialty, etc., etc. I will discuss leisurely. So, Mlecha, what do you mean by Mlecha? Mlecha means Aspashta Bhashana. This Sanskrit people, Kintavanama, very clearly he was speaking. These people say, what's your name? What is your name? Where are you going? Where are you going? So these Sanskrit people whose mother tongue was Sanskrit, they used to say to each other, Kimayam Lechati? What this person is saying something unclearly? What does it mean? What he wants, etc., etc. So here one has to use the Shabdas in line with the Shiksha Shastra. Shiksha means which tells how to pronounce, etc., etc. So this is very, very clear. So that's why we cannot compare Sanskritam with other languages, which generally we call Mlecha Bhasha. Mlechas are Greek people entered India long ago, then came from Persia, presently Iran. I mean, the entire Mediterranean you take, people from there. And later on, these English people, etc., etc., they started changing the names themselves. Mohamayi, Bombay. Dehali means threshold, Delhi. Vishakhapatnam, Vizag. What happened to you? You cannot pronounce. First thing is, you take such kind of food. Second thing is, you are not trained on these lines. Here, clarity is very important. So, Vagdoshas, in order to see that the people will get rid of the Vagdoshas, Patanjali authored Mahabhashyam. Now it is clear, Yoganushasanam for Manasika Doshas, Charakasutram for Sharirika Doshas, and Mahabhashyam for Vagdoshas. For means to get rid. Smitra.
Sir, what did you say for Sharirika dosha? I couldn't get it.
Sharirika dosha. Sharirika dosha means diseases, health.
No. You said Yoga Anushasanam for Manasika dosha.
And Charakasutram for Sharirika dosha. Charakasutram. See, not this Charaka Samhita, you have one Charakasutram.
Okay, Charakasutram.
Charakasutram. Only in Mysore library, etc., only a portion of that is available. Okay. Not completely. Okay. The third one is
Mahabhashyam.
Mahabhashyam. So Patanjali authored 3 great works. So these people did not expect any the rights. Suppose if you find something, what are the rights? They are called patent rights.
Patent rights.
Patent rights. They did not expect any rights or whatever you are getting, etc., etc. No. That means, what does it mean? You can trust them simply. No selfishness. They don't want anything in return. Nowadays, people spend 1,000 rupees and expect Patanjali notes down this also. Okay, like that. No, they were very, very clear. That means their minds were, first of all, their minds were controlled. Yoga Abhyasa. Through Yoga Abhyasa, in Yoga Shastram, these things are discussed. One can see the things that happened in the past, that are there behind a wall, that are going to happen, and that cannot be perceived, seen through ordinary eyes. Otherwise, how come Panini could just compile one Vyakaranam for both Vedic Shabdas and Laukik Shabdas? Because Vedic Shakhas are because Vedic Shakhas are 1130. They are just one papad as far as Panini is concerned. No. For one branch itself to learn one Shakha, Yajish Shakha, Shakha, etc. Oh, it is very difficult for us, people like us. But for Panini, just like that. So you will find Shabdas from different Veda Shakhas. Okay, it may be Rig Veda, it may be Samaveda, Atharva Veda, Yajurveda, etc. There are references and Swara that we are going to discuss. So now is it clear? Who is Patanjali? Why? And now, Panini authored roughly 4,000 sutras, 3,986 roughly. And then there may be some doubts, some difficulty in understanding these sutras, because Panini started with Dhirada each and ended with a. And he said, Tata, brook born, he went home. You are not supposed to ask any question, because he may offer a shapa. Bas me bhava turned to dust, sakpo bhava turned into serpent. Panini does not explain, it is not his job simply to offer an example or counter example or the meaning, this thing, that thing, interpretation. No, nothing. He went home. Now people started how to understand what. There are some difficulties in understanding certain sutras. Then entered Katyayana. Katyayana and some others, Bharadwaja, etc., some rishis for them. Mostly these Vartikas, Vartikam is nothing but Vakyam. I'm going to give you the definitions of the Sotram, Vakyam, Bhashyam, Vartikam and Bhashyam immediately. But Katyayana came and said, there are certain things which Panini thought they are implied, they are understood, they will be understood, etc., and did not clearly say. And certain things which are said by Panini are very, very terse. There is a cryptic meaning, very difficult to understand. So I will offer some amendments which are called Vartikas. Both these people, Panini and Katyayana, did a lot of work. Then Patanjali entered the scene and said, although you are given the sutras and Vartikas, how much will you understand? You want examples? You want the actual interpretation? What Panini had in his mind when he simply said, The sutram has got a lot of meaning. Because brevity and perfection are the hallmarks of Panini. You know hallmark? What is a hallmark? This term entered into the language, English language, because in London there was a hall, maybe now also. People used to take this bullion, that means raw gold and raw silver, for marking how many carats. So after checking that, they used to put some mark in that hall. So hallmark. In English, certain words have come. Fiasco. A person was holding a flask, and generally those people do not speak like us. They say, yes, so, and they go on acting. Natyam, we need not go anywhere else. Natyam also combined with just combined with the teaching. So, and then while doing all this, he dropped the flask. It fell down and got broken. Then he said, fiasco. It is not flask, but fiasco. Like that, that word fiasco entered the language. There are certain things about it. So now what happens? Patanjali entered the scene, and he is compared with Adisheshu, who had 1,000 heads. So Patanjali was teaching just like Adisheshu. He is considered, he is also called Shashavatara, an incarnation of Adisheshu. So when he teaches Mahabhashyam, it is highly profound, very difficult to catch as to what he actually wants to say, Patanjali. So that's why in Loka it has come, Maha Rajyam va palayet, Mahabhashyam va pathayet. Ask your children to rule the empire, or ask them to study Mahabhashyam. So that means both are the same. And if outside, if you go, it may be Sumitra, it may be Sharma, it may be Balaji, anyone. And outside, and you just say, I am learning Mahabhashya, immediately they will say, please come sit here. Oh, they are studying Mahabhashya. Oh. Because there are very much less number of people who can teach Mahabhashya, and also who are prepared to take it seriously, who are prepared to, yes, I am ready, I want to study Mahabhashyam. However difficult it may be. How many people are there on earth? So, learning Mahabhashyam will give you an added advantage, and you will be treated separately. People may be there who studied Panini, just called Kaumudi, just Parudhamanvarma, etc., etc. But directly studying Mahabhashyam is not it. Therefore, such a great work, he said. Here, first I shall give you the definitions of Sotram, Vartikam, and Bhashyam. And then I shall also explain to you as to why this particular work only is called Mahabhashyam. Because in Vedanta you have Shankara Bhashyam of Shankaracharya, you have Sri Bhashyam of Ramanujacharya, you have Purna Prajna Bhashyam of Madhvacharya, etc., etc. In other Shastras also, you have Nyaya Bhashyam in Nyaya, and Prashastabad Bhashyam in Vaisheshikam, so on and so forth. But only this particular work is called Mahabhashyam. Why? That I will explain. Okay? So first, what is a Sotram? Sotram means a thread. Oh, Sotram means thread. That means when you want to get a complete sense or complete discourse or Mahavakyam, a larger Vakyam, which will be useful in analyzing a Shabda, there will be many Vakyas, Avantra Vakyas or sub-sentences. If you want to express a shorter meaning, you will employ a Vakyam, sentence. Suppose you want to describe something, you just written from you had some experience, you want to tell it related to some friend, then you will employ more sentences than one. Isn't it? An account. So you want to write an essay, you want to write a book, Ramayanam. There are so many sentences. In a single sentence you cannot express because the meaning is large. If the meaning is short, you will employ a vacuum or sentence, and if the meaning is large, you will employ not one, but more than one. It may be two, it may be three, it may be 100 also, depending upon the subject. So here also, Panini, we are going to see that 6 kinds of sutras are there, and Vidhi Sutram, or which says you do this. In the world, there are only 2 kinds of sentences. One is Vidhi, the other is Nishedha. One is Vidhi, injunction, you should do this. The other is censure, that is Nishedha, no, do not do this. Bring any sentence in the world, in any literature, you can put under either this heading or that heading. Accepted? Now, here this Sotram is nothing but an elliptical sentence. Elliptical means incomplete. In the world, when you speak other languages also, you can take, there also the same thing happens. Where are you coming from, Sharma? Hostel. Now, hostel is a word or a sentence or an elliptical sentence. It is not a word. Why? Because the other person got the complete unitary sense of the sentence, I am coming from hostel. Although you said only hostel, there are ellipses. The words that are not used, what are they? I am coming from. Since there is shared knowledge, you did not use all the words of the sentence, but simply said hostel. So hostel is in an incomplete sentence or an elliptical sentence. The same is called sotram when you come to Vyakaran or Nyaya or Mimamsa, wherever it is. Is it clear? So Panini has encoded, a lot of meaning is there. He simply put it in the shortest possible form. The last sutram of Panini is a. In between, mostly this definition we are going to offer from Parashara Puranam, it fits Panini Sutras only, mostly. Because in Mimamsa, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Vedanta, etc., the sutras are lengthy. No, they are not as short as the sutras of Panini. Okay. Now, what is the definition of sutram? Definition of sutram is offered in Parashara Puranam. See, to teach these shastras in a Gurukula system, you are supposed to have, you means me, anybody, you means X. Whenever I say you means X. Don't take it as Sumitra or Sharma or Balaji. No. Anybody, you are supposed to have very good command upon the subject. Otherwise, what happens? The student feels uncomfortable. Oh, it's taking too much of time to this, that thing. Certain things you may have to refer or you may say tomorrow. But for everything, you cannot say that. And you should be clear in your ideas as to what is what. Okay. So what Parashara Puranam says is, Alpaksharam asandigdham saravad vishwato mukham asto bhamana vadyancha sotram sotravido viduhu. What the sotram is defined? Sotravidaha, those who know about sotras, said that a vakyam we have to make it adhyahara. Adhyahara means sometimes the ellipsis is called in Sanskritam adhyahara. Adhyahara means to supply a word that is not used but very much required for interpretation. Adhyahara means oha, tarka. Okay, to think that that word is also there, although it is not there in the given quotation. It may be a shloka, it may be a sentence. Clear?
Very similar to the Arthapati also, right?
Huh?
Very similar to the Arthapati Pramana.
In Arthapati, what happens? The example of, let us take the example of this thing. In Arthapati, Pino Devadattaha Devana Bhunte. That is the example. Mostly in Mimamsa, because Arthapati is taken as a pramana by them. Then what happens? This stout Devadatta is very strong. Okay. This person does not eat during night time. Penaha is strong. Devadatta, the person called Devadatta, Devana Bhunte, sorry, during daytime he doesn't eat anything. Then how he is so strong? That means that is the daytime meal and nighttime meal he is taking during nighttime only. Otherwise he is not supposed to be so strong. Isn't it? After 50 or 60 or 55 or so, Manusmriti says one should eat once only. And how many times one should have food? Dvireva bhojanam, antara bhojanam. This is from Gautam Dharma Shastra I am quoting. Twice only food you have to take. In between you should not take food. Some small fruits, etc., you may take. That is what is. But this British culture we have imported, that started with the jobs, etc. Morning you should have breakfast. The name is also breaking fast. We were not fast last night, we have already had. Where is the question of breaking fast? I don't know. Please don't ask me such questions. I am at loss. I don't know how to. At midnight, these people get up and say, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Nobody tells me Happy New Year for the last many years. Why? I ask him, why not Happy Financial Year? Why not Happy Academic Year? Okay, Baba, you accept financial year, academic year, etc. also. I fail to understand who told you that the year started at midnight exactly. What is the praman? What is the authority in saying so? So someone sitting in London were telling that at midnight. So you follow just blindly. You have to think on your own. You have so much in Shastra, so many Maharshis, so much there. You have a brain. Then what should we say? Our Samvatsara, the year starts with Suryodaya. There is some cause. There is sunrise. With that, the earlier Samvatsara is gone. Amavasya of Phalguna Masa, etc. is gone. That is the very authority. So next day, automatically, this next Kshana, automatically year starts. That may not necessarily be a festival because these years come and go. Why should you say Happy New Year? Why not Unhappy New Year? So many people have been facing Unhappy New Year. You are saying every year you are saying happy. Is it happening? Happy? Is it happening? No. Then why are you saying that? That means your words do not have Shakti. When a scholar with Vakshuddhi who studied Vedas, Vedangas, etc. and also follows strictly, leads an ascetic life, follows strictly the rules and regulations, not accepting anybody's money, not accepting any kind of, not having the weakness of, I am not awarded Padma Shri, only I would have gotten Padma Vibhushan. So in some movie, they say 10,000 they take and they just arrange everything and they give Padma Shri, 10,000. For Padma Vibhushan, 20,000. But for instance, one wants Bharata Ratna. No, police will arrest you if I give you Bharata Ratna, I should not be. Then this is just the kind of weakness. See, if such people offer Ashirvada, there will not be. The same thing is happening with you. Happy New Year. Entire year has become unhappy. Anyway, so now where are you? Arthapatti. The Pino Devadatta Divana Bhungte. During daytime, he doesn't eat. That means at night time, he is taking 2 plates, both the daytime one and the night time. That's why he is Penaha. How do you know that is happening? Because he says Penaha. Penaha means Opyayi Vardho is the verbal root. Very strong. Isn't it? So in Arthapatti, there you are just thinking, you are getting the sense that is not already expressed or indirectly expressed. That is Arthapatti. Here in the Sutram, what happens? Some words are not there due to metrical reasons, etc. To those things we supply the words, and like this supplying words that are not there in a text, it may be a verse, it may be a text sentence, that is called supply of words not employed, not used already, or is called, okay, process adhyara. Understand? So now in this Sotram, Alpaksharam Sandegdham Saravad Vishwatomukham Astobhamanavadjancha Sotram Sotra Vidogidu. Here the Visheshyam is there. You know what a Visheshyam is? Visheshyam is signified. Visheshyam is Neelam Utpalam, black lotus. Lotus is Visheshyam. Black is Visheshanam. So Visheshanam and Visheshyam will be there. So first all the Visheshanas are there. One by one we will discuss. What are they? Alpaksharam. See, the economy of letters. In a Sutram, it is counted like this. Economy of letters you have to take into consideration. So, in Vyakaranam it is said, Ekamatra Laghavam Putrotsavam Manyante Vayyakaranaha. If you can save a single letter, the Vayyakaranaas say, oh, I am blessed with a child. That's what they say. So Panvi wants to just condense the Sotram, okay, to the minimum, taking the economy of letters, not words. Beautiful. So Alpaksharam, Asandigdham. Sandigdha means it is confusing, doubtful. No, there should not be any doubt. Patanjali says, since simply you have got some doubt, you cannot say that this Sotram is not Sotram. Vyakhyanado Vishesha Pratipattihi Nahi Sandeha the Lakshanam. There is one paribhasha. Paribhasha means paritaha, around in all directions. Bhasha, it is the norm. It applies everywhere. So, if you have some doubt, you have to resort to the commentary. Vyakhyanataha Vishesha Pratipattihi. Pratipatti means jnanam. Okay. Additional knowledge you will get through commentary. Nahi sandeha the lakshanam. Since you have got some sandeha, you cannot say a lakshanam is not an lakshanam. Careful. Panini, how Panini was pronouncing the sutras, Patanjali explains that we will come at a later date. Okay. So alpakshanam asandigdham saravat. It should be strong enough. It should resist any kind of criticism at any level, at any rate, any cost. Saravat means strong enough. Alpaksharam asandigdham saravat vishwatomukham. See, Panini, for example, Deva Alaya, Devalaya, Rama Alaya, Ramalaya, Gauri iti, Gauri iti. So many examples for Savarna Dirgha Sandhi. Isn't it? But here, Panini offered only a single sutra. Akasavanne dirgha. 3 words. Akasavanne dirgha. A, E, Urul. Okay. A, E, Urul. These letters is followed by the same. A followed by A, E followed by E, etc. That dirgha will be there. Here, A means not short A, but jati. Jati and Vyakti I shall explain. Only for Balaji it is required, but anyway we will let us take. So A means A, E means E, U means U like that. So when it is followed, then there will be dirgha. Gauri iti, Gauri iti. Shambhu udaya su Shambhu Bhanu udaya, Bhanu udaya. Rama alaya, Rama alaya, like that. That means under this sotram, which has got 3 words, akaha, savarne, dirgha, Panini could analyze thousands or lakhs of examples where you will come across this is Savarna Dirgha Sandhi. This is what is called Vishwatomukham. That means that particular sotram should serve not a single example, but thousands of examples. That is one of the characteristics or one of the, Visheshanas of sotram. So, alpaksharam asandigdham saravatu vishwatomukham astobham. There we said for letters. That means if you take each word, there should be less and less letters. But astobham, nativyaptam, it should not be too lengthy. There it is alpaksharam is applicable to words. Astobham is applicable to vakyam. The sotram should not be too lengthy. Astobham anavadyancha. Anavadyam means impeccable. Dosha rahita. There should not be any dosha. Dosha will be there if you take some lakshanas. There will be dosha. For example, you say whichever has got arms is a cow. A cow is the one which has got arms. Is it okay? Balaji is saying okay. No. If you say the one which has got arms is this thing, then there will be a she buffalo. A buffalo has also got arms, no? So that also will become a cow. Got it? Balaji. That means you should, this lakshanam, whichever you offer, the definition should not have the defect called ativyapti or over applicability. This can be the animal with arms is called a cow, is going to apply even to buffaloes and even a deer which has got arms. So that kind of lakshanam is defective. And suppose you say, take another example, where the lakshanam does not apply in the actual example. the animal without arms is a cow. The one without arms, animal which is without arms is a cow. But then the donkey will come. A horse also will become a cow. So this Lakshanam is full of defective. In the sense it has got the dosha called avyapti. That means it is not fitting into the actual example, the real cow. So earlier ativyapti, now it is avyapti. Understand? So such kind of doshas should not be there in a sotram. See how difficult it is even to understand what a sotram is. So for Panini, it is just nothing. Huh? So alpaksharam asandigdham saravatu vishwatomukham astobham anavadyancha vakyam. We have adhyahara of vakyam. Such and such a sentence, sotram, this is called, so it is said to be a sotram, sotra vedaha viduhu. By those who know about sotras. There are some scholars. They have to just define as to what a sotram is. Okay? So, alpa aksharama sandigdham saravad vishwato mukham astobhamanavadyancha sotram sotravido viduhu. This is the definition of a sotram. 4 minutes are left roughly. It doesn't mean exactly you have to just cut at 9:30, not like that. But if you have any doubts in this class, keep one thing in mind. You can raise doubts about the old lessons or new lessons anytime during, before, during, and after the lecture. I cannot be disturbed. Sharma.
You said in the sutras, there is a Vidhi Sutra and a Nishedha Sutra, right?
No, sutras also it is there, yes.
Yes.
Not only, that means there in the Veda, Vidhi is there, Nishedha is there.
Yes.
Vidhi, Jyotishtama Sargakamo Yajeta, one who wants to go to Sarga should perform the Jyotishtama Yaga. Nishedha Mahinsya Sarva Nahinsyat Sarva Bhotani. One should not hurt any being. So Vidhi is there, Nishedha is there. Like that in Loka also, in the house also, in the office, everywhere you have Vidhi Nishedha. Similarly, same thing here in Panini Vyakaranam as well as Mimamsa or Nyaya, everywhere you have both Vidhi and Nishedha. Now tell me.
Yes. So in terms of sutras or stotram, is it like a vidhi? Vidhi, both are actually instruction only, right? It is a vidhi you need to do and nishedha you need to So I guess I
got your point. I got your point. That's why I said in the Shiksha lectures also, nishedha vidhi you may say.
Oh yes.
See, if you take, no, I want to say one should do, should not do. That's okay. One should not do also. If it is taken as a vidhi, then what will happen? Only one thing remains, vidhi only. Because that too you want to take as nishedha vidhi. Okay, welcome. But what happens is, suppose you are sitting in your gate. Someone is going on the road. You call him. Hello, Maitreyi, today don't come for lunch to our house. You do not know that person. You just said, today please don't come for lunch to our house. She looks around, nobody is there. You are talking to her only. There is no doubt about her, to her. Then she thinks, what? Coming for lunch to your house? What do you mean? So either she thinks that the person who is saying Nishedha is not healthy. Health means mentally, physically, and socially well-being. Careful. Not simply say, that is more important. That is more important actually, because people will suffer otherwise. If you send a person, they have to face the music. Let us not do such things. That is against our sampradaya. Then that means if there is vidhi, if she is coming for lunch to your house, then only you are supposed to say nishedha. If there is no vidhi, if it is not coming, she is not coming. Oh, he has got some work. She was just going this way and that. But of course, before your gate it happened, because before your gate there is a road. which is universal, which belongs to everybody.
So Nisheda is actually dependent on the Vidhi.
Yes, generally. Okay. Because sometimes what happens, you say, do not consume mamsa. That means that person, you may say this to a person who is doing that, and you may have some doubt, this person at a later stage, having very good friendships, goes and starts consuming mamsa. There are very good people who will say, hey, what is there? Who said? You too much follow this. You are Brahmins now. Hey, who said? Hey, that is mad. You just consume this chicken, mutton, etc. and then tell me. You will become very, very strong. But your mind will be, actually, your intellect will be reduced. And suppose if there is any problem with these people, the person who has consumed mansam has to take 2 tablets. I used to tell my MA students, they were laughing. See, for that chick, you have to take 1 tablet. Or for that goat, because goat's meat is there in your stomach. For that goat, 1 tablet, for yourself another tablet. 2 tablets you have to take because you have consumed mansam. La 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 la, what to do? Whereas I am a Shakahari, I am taking only vegetables. So I need to take, if is required, generally no. If you take Shakahara, generally you will not fall ill, mostly. Then you have to take maybe 1 tablet. So for chicken, if you consume, for the chick, 1 tablet, or for the goat, 1 tablet, and 1 more for yourself. So 2 tablets you have to take. And your memory also will be blunted. Earlier you were very catching very fast and speaking very, understanding very fast. Fat. Because generally I tell people, you should have 3 qualifications. Speaking fast, thinking fast, understanding fast. Otherwise, you cannot understand what I am talking. Because I am a fast speaker. Just at the regulated speed I am teaching. Otherwise, mine is 200 words per minute. WPM, words per minute. No, nobody understands. The Americans did not understand my English. And in Madhya Pradesh Sagar University, they said, what is this Hindi? We do not speak so fast. The Telugu people have been suffering for the last 65 years. I'm sorry. So, I tell when I go to give a lecture, I tell people to raise their hands if to control my speed. Just raise hand, then I'll regulate the speed. Otherwise, it goes at full speed. Becomes more ununderstandable. So someone in our university, Andhra University, when I was learning, one classmate asked my teacher, sir, what is Tarka? This teacher earlier tried to understand Tarka Shastra, Nyaya Darshanam, but failed. So he was angry actually. Already he was angry and against, had got some hatred, Vasha against Tarka. Then you know what answer he gave? What, sir, what is Tarka? Tarka. You see, a thing which is not understood by one person is made more ununderstandable to others. A person did not understand one thing. He made it more and more difficult, ununderstandable to others. That is called Tarka. You know what a meeting is?
Did he understood then?
Huh?
Did he understood then?
Then he said, you scratching his... So someone, my daughter-in-law said, there is a meeting. I said, do you know what a meeting is? Individually, people decide that nothing can be done. All such people who cannot do anything decided already, assemble at a single point of place to decide that nothing can be done collectively also. That is called a meeting. She told to everybody.
Oh, relatable.
Huh?
It is so relatable.
So she told this thing to everybody in the office. Then they started thinking, are we doing the same thing in all our meetings? So, any more questions, please? So today, whatever you have learned, the background of Vyakaranam, the instrument that is useful, that discusses use and abuse of language, because here language is associated with dharma, philosophy, unlike other languages across the globe. Then, what is Vyakaranam? It is a Vedangam. Then who is Panini? He is the Sotrakara. There is Vartikara Katyayana. And there is Bhashyakara Patanjali. You know what is a Sotram? Tomorrow you will know what a Vartikam and but Bhashyam is, and these three munis are very important. This Vyakaranam is called Trimuni Vyakaranam. Anything said which goes against the three munis, whatever they said in Sotram, Vartikam, Bhashyam, that is not acceptable. So this is called Trimuni Vyakaranam. Very strict, because someone comes up, he says, I have also written one grammar book. How come everybody, it has become a fashion. If he doesn't like someone, he starts writing a book. Because in America, publish or perish. You publish something, then you will get the promotion as professor or something. What is there in the published work? Don't ask such questions. He published a book. It is in print or not? Yes, it is in print. Then he is a Pandita. But just he recently started learning these things. How can he write a book? No, they can write. But Panini was actually laboring like anything, and we people are laboring like anything to write a book, etc. No, that is in India. In America, within 1 year, one can write a book. And the book is available in Library of Congress, etc., etc. So here, not everybody is allowed to just write a book. Writing a book is so cheap. That is for promotion. So publish or perish is their Sotram. You now understand what a Sotram is. Alpaksham Asandiktham. Okay? Any more doubts? So shall we call it today? Om Namaः Paninigatyaaya Patanjali Shabda Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vinshiribhyo Paramarshibhyo Mahadbhyo Munibhyo Gurubhyaha. Tomorrow same time.
Okay.
Sure. Dhanyavada. Namaskara.
Shubham Bhoya.